Hi, my name is Russell Clark, and I'm here in my training area again working on my Pathfinder Phase 1 certification skills. And last week I came out here and I worked on game signs and simple snares, but because trapping is such a large subject, I'm going to work on that again today. Today I'm going to specifically work on the Promontory Peg Deadfall Trap. So let's go get started, gather the things we need, and work on building this trap. Alright, so the Promontory Peg Deadfall is a simple, quick deadfall that you can make with very little resources. Here's what you need. 2 sticks, about 6 to 8 inches. A small piece of cordage. And what I'm using here is just the inner strands from parachute cord. It's very strong, and when you tighten it up, it's very springy and it will react very fast. And the last thing you need is either a large rock or a large slab of wood that's weighted on top that you'll use for the actual deadfall. The word promontory refers to the trigger system. Defined in the dictionary, promontory is a large landmass or rock mass that jets out into the ocean or a body of water. So as you can see from this trigger system right here, you can see how that term evolved. The one peg jets out over top of the other peg. So I fashioned my trigger system so it's formed to look like this, where they fit nice and neatly together. Now the next thing I need to do is take my second stick and take my cordage and tie it around both ends, just like that right there. And I want the cordage to be as long as the actual deadfall itself, so it will be placed over the end of the deadfall, and then the string will come around and attach to the trigger. Okay, next I'm going to take the piece of wood with the cordage on it and place it over the edge of the deadfall, the rear edge, and that way it's held firmly in place. I'm going to lift up on the deadfall, and I have the string at the bottom, at the front of the deadfall. Next I'm going to take my trigger system, all done together just like that. Lift up on the deadfall. I'm going to wrap the cordage around the bottom of that trigger system until it's nice and taut. Okay. Now the hard part, balancing the trigger and your deadfall together. I'm lucky today. So of course this will be weighted a lot more on top, so we're going to go find something heavy to put on top of this. We'd normally use a large rock, but there was no large rocks in this area. It's all deadfall and grass out here, so we're going to find a large piece of wood to weight the top of it. Okay, so I found this large piece of wood where the Forest Service was doing some cutting out here, and it looks like it'll work just fine. Let's give it a try. Okay, now the trigger's in place, let's give it a try. We're just going to camouflage a little around the edge of this trap just so it doesn't look so obvious to the small game that we're trying to catch. And also we'll try to divert him into the right area of the trap that we want them to go into, so the deadfall will fall solidly on top of the animal. And we put our bait right back as far as you can go, and that way you have the best possibility of the animal tripping the system, and you know they're well under the trap. So let's give it a try. Here's the animal. He's coming down the trail, and he looks off and he sees some food and follows the food and goes up under the trap and trips the trigger of the trap, and doesn't take much at all. Bam, the trap falls. Okay, just a few tips that I learned this week during my research for trapping was when you're setting up your deadfall, you don't want to set it right up in the middle of a game trail or run. You want to set it off to the side, and that way it won't be an obstruction in the trail. That animal's used to going up and down that trail to get to food or water, and if you put your deadfall right in the middle of that trail, it's going to be something different, and it's going to cause the animal most likely to go around that trap. So you want to set your trap up just off the trail and sprinkle a little bit of bait going into the trap, and that will entice that small game to go into the trap and make a detour rather than following that natural trail that it follows every day to get to its feeding area or water. So that's the Promontory Peg Deadfall. I'm sure I'll keep it on my inventory of skills because it's so easy to build, and its simplicity and the time it takes to build it. I could probably build 4 of those in the time it takes me to build one figure 4 deadfall. So I'm going to go work on some other skills right now, but come back again and join me soon and we'll learn something together. Cool?